All right, y'all. This is Phi Radio. I'm AVI. I'm here with Kevin Jindrat, Council Representative of Phi Theta Kappa at Mount Sac College. I'm also here with Jorge Enriquez, who's a researcher of theology, independent researcher. He's here with us via Skype in Laverne, Tennessee. How you doing, Jorge?
Pretty good.
All right, all right. Jorge is he is a practicing Jew, right?
No, I wouldn't say I'm practicing Jew.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you do hold the beliefs of Judaism, though.
I do hold the beliefs, yes.
Okay. So, I just want to ask you a couple questions about Judaism because I know it's not the most widespread religion of the world. In fact,
it's not very popular at all. That's correct.
Right. And you and I have kind of sparred intellectually on this on Facebook, and I just kind of wanted to get our listeners to get like a kind of like a feel for Judaism in a way that's not totally critical of it, because you guys don't really get a say in a way, because you guys don't you're not like a very large part of the population. So I'm giving you a chance in a way to speak on behalf of Judaism. So just let the people know, what kind of Jew are you, in fact? Because I know there's a couple of different denominations of it. So what do you classify yourself as?
I follow classical Sephardic Judaism.
What is it?
I follow classical Sephardic Judaism.
Okay. And how is that different than say Messianic Jew or Orthodox Jew?
Well, Messianic Jews believe in Yeshua or Jesus. They don't like calling him Yeshua. I mean, they don't like calling him Jesus. My bad. They call him Yeshua, but it's really the same thing.
Right.
And they basically keep the New Testament stuff, and they're practicing Jews.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You reject most. Is it all of the New Testament, or certain ideals of the New Testament, or the whole New Testament altogether?
I would say, well, since it's contradictory towards the Torah, and the Torah tells us, if a person comes and tells you something that goes against this Torah, don't believe him. Don't believe what they say.
Right. Yeah, because that was my problem too in reading the New Testament. That I kind of felt like I had to like completely regenerate my brain to understand it, because I read the whole Old Testament, right, and
right.
it was definitely going one direction, one God, one thing. Set of rituals. And there's certain ways to sacrifice and certain ways to pray and this and that. And then when you get to the New Testament, it's almost the complete opposite. For me, that's kind of how I felt.
Right, because it's like a watered down version of Judaism.
Watered down version, okay. I guess I would agree with that. So what is the beef with Jesus in Judaism? What exactly makes Jesus a something that is, basically
detestable?
Rejected?
Well, there's the whole thing about, many people believing that he was God, quote unquote, in the flesh.
Right. And would that be classified under like polytheism?
It's just you're basically a heretic.
Ah. So, okay. So here's another question. Here's a different question in a way. If let's just say you were one of the religious leaders at the time, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and I think there was a couple other groups that persecuted Jesus. And would you agree with them in their actions back then? Because it seems like that was, first of all, it was
say that again. You were cutting on.
The Sadducees and the Pharisees, basically the ones who prosecuted Jesus, and I think they appealed to the Roman authority to be able to put him on the cross and all this. So do you agree with those decisions back then?
See, the thing about that is the Torah actually prohibits him from even being, because he didn't do anything really. the Torah prohibits for him to be killed. Because there's also very different views on how people view him. Like some people think that he did have a small following, and there's a few Jews that actually believe yes he did exist, and there's also the other few that they reject him. They reject the fact that he ever existed or anything like that. But I mean, for certain, this person, he had to exist because there are still Christians in Israel,
Right. Definitely.
and they still keep some of the practices. But these are Jews. That's what some people don't understand is that you take a man and you replace him as God, and you're replacing Judaism. Is basically what it is.
That's
So
deep.
so do you disagree more with the followers, or because Jesus himself, when I read it, he never really claimed to be God in his own words. He never claimed
Correct.
that he was God, or he said he was of God or God's son, or
At
you
the
know,
right
things
at the
like
right
that.
hand of God.
But it wasn't
mean-
until after Jesus that came this notion
Well-
that God and Jesus are one.
Yeah, I mean, there is, the Son of God thing is something that the priests called themselves. They were, because in Psalms, King David says to the priest, you are Elohim, which means you are judges or sons, or also sons of God.
Yeah, because the Son of God is a term that is just
Yeah,
used
yeah.
for a righteous person. Right?
It says son of man, and it
Son
says
of
that
man,
in
son of-
Psalms also.
Almost
lot
like
of
a
that.
prophet. It's like a name
Correct.
for a prophet. Okay. Okay, well, then that goes to my next point. When you're talking about Israel, the current state of Israel is a very controversial topic. So I
Right.
just wanted to get your take on, Zionism. And because, I mean, at its face value, it kind of seems like they're just doing the work that Moses would have been doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to an outsider, because as somebody who I mean, I'm not anyone. I don't embrace any of these religions, but if I look at the Torah and the plight of the Israelites, it seems like Israel today is promoting that very thing, because God was basically by the side of the Israelites.
Right.
So how do you view Zionism today? Well, I mean, do you have any criticisms for it? Do you have any? Do you accept it? Do you like it? Do you dislike it?
Well, I would say I myself am a Zionist, because I do believe that the state of Israel, they should exist. Although Palestine it's completely brand new, actually. And actually, the Jews in Israel are actually the real Palestinians. The name was changed under when the Roman occupation of Jerusalem. The Caesar changed the name to Palestina, which goes back to the word Philistine.
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying.
if you
Go ahead.
yes, if you look at an old map of what Israel really was, like Palestine, you know how big Palestine is.
Well, you mean then or now? Because now
No.
it's not very big.
Well, Palestine includes Israel also,
Okay.
and and Muslims, they want to wipe them out.
Okay, but
But I'm not saying all Muslims, because I don't agree with that.
yeah, no, I know what you mean. But what about the fact that a lot of Muslims were wiped out themselves in the advent of the establishment of the state of Israel?
See.
You know what I'm
now,
saying? Because that's kind of like modern history.
See, you know the history of the Grand Mufti.
Yeah.
All right, he helped Hitler kill a bunch of Jews. There was a mass genocide of Jews that it's not even in the history books. But there is a mass grave of Jews in Palestine, and they